Hello, welcome to today's lecture. We're going to be giving more information about last week's lesson, the first cycle of knowledge for the course of the Holy Season for the Year of the Song. I know that a lot of you had questions. I did too. So we had some of these questions posed to Tote, and we got the answers. Cindy asked Tote, because Tote is the one who answered all of these questions for Cindy. She asked him, if a seed has many elemental values associated with it, does enlivening that seed address all of those values at once? Or should someone set an intent before enlivening the seed if someone is wanting a specific benefit? So here, if you remember from last week, Tote went through certain numbers in different key positions, spin key positions. If the number 1 was in the first spin key position, then it had several elemental values associated with it. If a different number were in the second key position, it would have different values associated with that. And if a specific number were located in the third key position, it would have many values associated with it. Since each seed has 3 spin key positions and a number in each of those, that means that each seed actually has several different conditions and benefits that are associated with that seed. 81 different seeds, many different conditions associated with each seed. So the question is, if you enliven one seed, does it actually address all of those conditions for all 3 spin key positions, or do you need to set the intent ahead of time to get the benefit of one of those conditions? Tote said this: the seed enlivens all within its domain. Initiating spin on the seed enlivens all values contained within the realm of the seed. Each seed is source to a vast array of form, as the apple seed is source to all expressions of the apple tree. Enlivening the seed initiates origin. Origin, sequence. Purity of sequence code is generated. Distortions are eliminated. Impurities are replaced with clarity of sequence. Illumined sequence. Greater is the value. Return to origin is greater than the value of origin. Return to origin is a greater value of fullness. Profound fullness is realized. So that was his answer, and a very beautiful one, a very important answer, but of course the direct information for that is when you enliven a seed, you get all of the benefits from all of those elements that Tote said were related to each of those numbers in the first, second, and third spin key positions for that seed. Then Cindy asked Tote, if someone is wanting to get a specific benefit, is it sufficient to enliven any seed that has a number in a spin key position that relates to that benefit? Or is it best to find a seed that has multiple spin keys supporting that particular benefit? For example, if one has a skin condition, would it be better to enliven seed number 73, which has skin listed as a relevant condition in all 3 spin key positions? So here, thinking back to last week, remember when Tote said, if this number is in the first key position, you get these benefits or these conditions are relevant. Same thing with second, same thing with the third. So if you're wanting a specific benefit, that could be skin conditions, as was posed in this question. There are going to be a lot of seeds. There could be 27 different seeds that actually have that word, skin. as one of the relevant elements in either the first or the second or the third key position. So, if you have so many different options, can you just choose any of those options? Or do you choose the seed that has that particular element listed in as many places as possible? Here is his response. Now, don't worry about trying to understand this answer as I'm reading it to you, because we're going to spend some time on this answer to make sure that you understand what he's saying. But here is Tote's answer. Different causes. Same result, different cause. Within the garden, weeds may appear from different causes. Wind, water, earth, or other causes. Human, animal. Symptoms of weeds appear in many gardens, yet causes are found to be different. We look for the cause within inception or appellation. If the symptom is found within elements of inception, enliven inception. If the symptom is located on the layer of appellation, enliven appellation. In this way, the cause is addressed. The sequence code is restored. If the symptom is not found within the individual seeds, enliven the way of the elements, the elemental sequence of totality. Cindy said, so we shouldn't select a seed based on the symptoms to enliven, finding a seed where he specifically said that symptom was related to a spin key in that seed. Tote said, it may. One may locate the cause through relief of the symptom. So there, let's take that last part of it first. Yes, you can just skim the list of the different conditions, and every time it says this condition, the one that you're looking for, then you can enliven all 9 seeds that have that number in that spin key position. If you find one that works, then you may have discovered the cause of the symptom. So it is going to be more effective if you address the cause and the symptom together as opposed to just the symptom. Addressing just the symptom means it's going to keep coming back again and again, and it may not even be fully addressed when you are addressing the symptom. So you want to address the cause. So how do we do this? Well, he gave us 3 options. 1, enliven your inception seed. 2, enliven your appellation seed. 3, enliven the way of the elements, the elemental sequence. So let's go through this. Take a look on your screen. We're going to give an example, and we're going to go through this example with some of the handouts that you've already received and a handout that you received today. We're going to choose an example of the inception seed being seed number 27, and we're going to say that your appellation seed is seed number 36. So seed 27 is your inception seed, seed 36 is your appellation seed. Now, you're going to take the blue handout that you received last week. This is the one that gives the seed numbers in correct order on the left-hand column, and then the next 3 columns tell you what number appears in the first spin key position, in the second spin key position, and in the third spin key position. So, we are looking for our inception seed, which is number 27. Now we move to the column where it says first spin key, and we see spin key, the first spin key. If the number is 7, then the number 7 is going to be located in the first spin key position for all of those seeds numbered 19 through 27. And since ours is 27, that is the correct number that appears in the first key position for us. So we write that down. You can see it on the left-hand side. first key position, number 7. Now our second key position, we go over from our number, our seed number 27, we follow it over to the right, and we see that in the second spin key column, it is under the number 18. So 18 is the number that appears in our second spin key position. Finally, our third spin key position. We start in the far left column where it's our number, our inception seed number is 27, and we go all the way over to the right, to the far right column, and we see, well, the number is 27. So 27 appears in our third spin key position. And that means that we have our 3 numbers. First key is 7, second key is 18, third key is 27. Now, let's take a look at our inception seed, find those numbers. So our Appalachian seed. We're going to find the numbers for the 3 spin key positions for our Appalachian seed, which is seed number 36. We have circled it on our blue handout in the left-hand column. So now we go to the column of the first spin key. The first spin key, and we can see that number 2 is in the first spin key position for all of the seeds from 28 all the way through 36, and we are seed 36. So that means that number 2 appears in our first spin key position, and you can see it's written down on the right-hand side under seed 36. We have position 1 and the number 2. Now, our second spin key position, we see that it is the number 12. The number 12 applies to seed 34, 35, and 36, and we are seed 36, so we will put 12 down on our list. And finally, our third spin key column, we look at our number 36, we go all the way over to the far right to that column, and we see that it is number 21. So we have written down our numbers under seed 36 on the right-hand side of your screen, and we can see first spin key position is number 2. Second spin key position is number 12. Third spin key position is number 21. So now we're going to take a look at your new handout, the one that you just received today. This handout is on the email that contained the link for this video. It's also on our website. This handout gives you the key position 1, 2, and 3 on the far left column. There are only 3 spin key positions, so there are only 3 possibilities in that far left column. Then, each key position has a total of 9 numbers that can appear in it. Those 9 numbers appear in the next column and under the heading number in that position. So the first key position, you can have the number 1 all the way through number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then the second key position, the second spin key position, can have the numbers 10 through 18. And the third spin key position can have the numbers 19 through 27. Those are the only numbers that appear in those spin key positions. 1 through 9, 10 through 18, 19 through 27. And then you can see effects. These are the elemental aspects related to those numbers appearing in that spin key position. And this is the information that Tote gave us last week in the first cycle of knowledge. I've just put it in a table for you. Now in the far right column, you can see the seeds that have that particular number in that spin key position. So we can see first spin key position, the number 1 has all of those benefits, all of those elements, benefits or bad conditions. Those elements are all related to having the number 1 in the first spin key position. energy of creating, fever, premonition, excess mental activity, discomfort in the head, and it goes on. And all of the seeds number 1 through 9 happen to have the number 1 in the first spin key position. We can go down to number 2, and we see the elements that are related to having the number 2 in the first spin key position. Determination, autism, persistent head pressure, stomach upset, digestive sensitivity, nervous system. And we see that seeds 28 through 36 happen to have the number 2 in the first spin key position. If we jump down to the second spin key position, then we can see different numbers appear in that, and different seeds happen to have that number in the second spin key position. Let's say spin key position 2 and the number is 14. Cough and respiratory conditions, anemia, excessive gas, joints. And then we see that the seeds that happen to have 14, the number 14 in the second key position, are seeds 13 through 15, 40 through 42, and 67 through 69. Now, you don't have to remember any of that. You just have to know what this handout looks like. Now we're going to go through it together so that you can understand how to use it. Let's find all of the elements associated with our inception seed, and we're pretending that our inception seed number is 27. So we see on the left-hand side of the screen, first key is number 7, second key is number 18, third key is number 27. Those are the 3 numbers in the 3 spin key positions for seed number 27. So now let's take a look at their elements. So the first key is number 7, and you can see it circled on your screen. And now we can see the conditions that are related to the number 7 appearing in the first key position. Pain in joints, poor circulation, cold feet, lymphatic system, skin, boils, poor digestion, gas in stomach, constipation, intolerance to stress. All of those conditions, all of those elements related to having the number 7 in the first key position. Now 18, circled at the bottom of your screen, this is in our second key position, and the elements related to it: cold extremities, gas, hernia, abdomen, liver, and ears. Now let's go to our third key position. Our third key position is 27. So it's circled at the bottom of that table, and the elements circled next to it: stomach weakness, ulcers, low tolerance to stress, insomnia, instability, circulation, and lymph system. So all of those elements are related to that particular inception seed, seed number 27. So now, let's take a look at those 3 numbers again, and let's pretend, that we've got an issue with circulation. Poor circulation is a problem. Well, number 7 in the first key position mentions poor circulation and cold feet. Then number 18 in the second key position mentions cold extremities. First one said cold feet, second one said cold extremities. And number 27 in the third key position mentions circulation. So if the person has poor circulation, especially if the person has cold feet all the time, then this inception seed certainly is going to be something that that person needs to enliven more frequently. So if your inception seed is relevant to what you're trying to address, then don't just enliven it in the morning and in the evening. Enliven it throughout the day. Enliven it every hour. If you happen to have a personalized medallion for your inception seed, you can do it all the time. Anytime you have an extra 10 or 15 seconds, spin the medallion. Because even without using your seed phrase for your inception seed, you're still enlivening your inception seed when you spin the way of your personalized medallion. Now also, as an example, on number 27, seed number 27. Other things that show up more than once in those spin key positions. Gas. If someone has a lot of gas, gas is mentioned both in the first key position with number 7 and in the second key position with number 18. Finally, stress. If a person has a lot of stress, stress is mentioned in the first key position with number 7 and in the third key position with number 27. So this is how you go through an analysis of your very own inception seed and your very own appellation seed. And if you draw up, if you simply look on that table, the one that's new for today, that lists all of the elements, all of the benefits as well as negative things affiliated with a specific number in a specific spin key position. So you're going to have 3 different numbers that you're looking at because you have 3 numbers in 3 different spin key positions for your inception seed as well as for your appellation seed. Look at those conditions, and if those appear to be things that you need to work on, then enliven that inception seed, your inception seed, or if it's your appellation seed that has the things that you want to work on, enliven your appellation seed more frequently. Now, of course, again, you enliven your inception seed and your appellation seed every morning and every evening. But it is important, if these are conditions that you really need to work on, that you should be enlivening your inception seed and appellation seed more frequently, more often. Okay, now, let's take a look at the final opportunity, the final option that Tote told Cindy. And that is, well, let's find it exactly. He said, if the symptom is not found within the individual seeds, enliven the way of the elements, the elemental sequence of totality. So that means that if you haven't found it in your inception seed or your appellation seed, you should enliven all 81 seeds in the exact form that Tote gave us last week, the elemental sequence. So this is what Tote calls as enlivening. Let me see the exact wording. It is enlivening the way of the elements, elemental sequence. So the technique to enliven the way of the elements, elemental sequence, this is your lavender handout from last week. You enliven all 81 seeds in this order, using the seed phrases in this particular order. Now, Cindy asked Tote a question, which was, what is the difference between enlivening all 81 seeds, beginning with seed number 1 and proceeding to seed 81, versus initiating the way of the elements, elemental sequence? So we enliven all 81 seeds with both techniques. What's the difference? And here is Tote's answer. He said, sequence. Sequence is the difference. The way of the elements produces waves of purity, surging through the elemental expressions of creation. Initiating elemental sequence infuses energy and intelligence into layers which store memory of past experience. Elements form around memory. Residue alters form. Initiating the way of the elements causes winds and waves of purity to churn, replacing imperfection with expressions of original sequence. Residue is replaced by purity of origin. That's a great answer. That is a great answer. In fact, let's read that answer again because it is such a great answer. So, sequence. Sequence is the difference. The way of the elements produces waves of purity, surging through the elemental expressions of creation. Initiating elemental sequence infuses energy and intelligence into layers which store memory of past experience. Elements form around memory. Residue alters forms. Initiating the way of the elements causes winds and waves of purity to churn, replacing imperfection with expressions of original sequence. Residue is replaced by purity of origin. So that is a great answer. And that is what happens every time you do this technique. The technique of, well, the technique is the technique of initiating the way of the elements, elemental sequence. That's a very specific title. I'm going to have to get accustomed to that. The technique of initiating the way of the elements, elemental sequence. This is what we did last week. This is starting with Wednesday, we did this. And we're going to do this again today. I want to make sure everyone knows how to do this technique appropriately, correctly, effectively, because of what Tote said for the answer. It's so important that we all know how to do this technique. So we're going to do this technique together as a group now. This is just like when we did the return to the source technique 1.5 weeks ago and we did it all together. We're going to do the same thing now. We're going to do this technique, the technique of initiating the way of the elements, elemental sequence. And we're going to do it together. I am going to, just like last time, keep track of time for you, and I am going to, every 15 seconds, tell you the seed phrase. Then you will spin the way of your song, and you will then think that seed phrase. So enlivening the seed phrase that I tell you to, and we'll do it 3 times, of course, for each seed. 81 seeds in the proper order for this technique. So go ahead and get ready now. Have your Song of the Spheres ready, and then we will do this together as a group. This is going to take us just over 60 minutes to do this. So if you need to take a break, go ahead and pause the video and then come back and we'll go ahead and do this together as a group now. Source of light. Source of light. Source of light. Essence of light. Essence of light. Essence of light. Sublime effulgence. Sublime effulgence. Sublime effulgence. Immense gathering. immense gathering. Immense gathering. I am that. I am that. I am that. Infinity sprouts. Infinity sprouts. Infinity sprouts. Echoing rays. Echoing rays. Echoing rays. Song of the deep. Song of the deep. Song of the deep. Spiral fountain, cosmic inception. Spiral fountain, cosmic inception. Spiral fountain, cosmic inception. One is equal to the universe. One is equal to the universe. One is equal to the universe. Residual action influences direction. Residual action influences direction. Residual action influences direction. With purpose, proceed. With purpose, proceed. With purpose, proceed. Awake, asleep. The dream exists between. Awake, asleep. The dream exists between. Awake, asleep. The dream exists between. Perpetual and non-perpetual. Perpetual and non-perpetual. Perpetual and non-perpetual. Reflection of wind. Reflection of wind. Reflection of wind. The tower spirals. The tower spirals. The tower spirals. Vibrations signal the soul. Vibrations signal the soul. Vibrations signal the soul. Starbursts streaming. Starbursts streaming. Starbursts streaming. The space between. The space between. The space between. On account of itself. On account of itself. On account of itself. And perception between the singular. And perception between the singular. And perception between the singular. On account of the difference. On account of the difference. On account of the difference. On account of movable existence. On account of movable existence. On account of movable existence. Matter invisible. Matter invisible. Matter invisible. The source through frequency. The source through frequency. The source through frequency. Diamond matter resurrection. Diamond matter resurrection. Diamond matter resurrection. Intuition through purity of intention. Intuition through purity of intention. Intuition through purity of intention. Union by way of truth. Union by way of truth. Union by way of truth. Memory cosmic map. Memory cosmic map. Memory cosmic map. Multiple form. Multiple form. Multiple form. Release through element. Release through element. Release through element. Purity of seat. Purity of seat. Purity of seat. Purity of seat. Gel of nectar. Gel of nectar. Gel of nectar. Lightning connects spheres. Lightning connects spheres. Lightning connects spheres. Locating the like. Locating the like. Locating the like. Perceive, infer. Perceive, infer. Perceive, infer. Thread of the small Lord. Thread of the small Lord. Thread of the small Lord. Radiant serenity. Radiant serenity. Radiant serenity. Morning dew sparkles. Morning dew sparkles. Morning dew sparkles. Footsteps of the elephant may be counted. Footsteps of the elephant may be counted. Footsteps of the elephant may be counted. $10,000 drums. $10,000 drums. $10,000 drums. Because of the difference of the worlds. Because of the difference of the worlds. Because of the difference of the worlds. One droplet. One droplet. One droplet. celestial rotation, cosmic elements. Celestial rotation, cosmic elements. Celestial rotation, cosmic elements. Eternal return, supreme fortune. Eternal return, supreme fortune. Eternal return, supreme fortune. Because of impermanence. Because of impermanence. Because of impermanence. It may be seen. It may be seen. It may be seen. On account of connection with the Word. On account of connection with the Word. On account of connection with the Word. No, because the sense is coming into contact. No, because the sense is coming into contact. No, because the sense is coming into contact. Because one sees, knowledge is gained. Because one sees, knowledge is gained. because one sees, knowledge is gained. Passage through saffron threads of light. Passage through saffron threads of light. Passage through saffron threads of light. Existence within breath. Existence within breath. Existence within breath. Arrival through release of motion. Arrival through release of motion. Arrival through release of motion. On account of essence. On account of essence. On account of essence. Into the opening, the vast is located. Into the opening, the vast is located. Into the opening, the vast is located. Astral relations. Astral relations. Astral relations. Streaks of light, showers of hope. Streaks of light, showers of hope. Streaks of light, showers of hope. Freedom, form. Freedom, form. Freedom, form. Great Cosmic Translator. Great Cosmic Translator. Great Cosmic Translator. Billowing bubbles. Billowing bubbles. Billowing bubbles. Columns entwined. Columns entwined. Columns entwined. Warm radiance. Warm radiance. Warm radiance. Solar gate. Solar gate. Solar gate. The well brings forth water. The well brings forth water. The well brings forth water. Beyond the void. Beyond the void. Beyond the void. The empty cloud rises. The empty cloud rises. The empty cloud rises. Like thunder, one increases. Like thunder, one increases. Like thunder, one increases. A wind lifts the outer layer. A wind lifts the outer layer. A wind lifts the outer layer. Solid form sinks. Solid form sinks. Solid form sinks. Like water, one enters. Like water, one enters. Like water, one enters. A bridge connects the points. A bridge connects the points. A bridge connects the points. That which supports. That which supports. That which supports. Indirect perception. Indirect perception. Indirect perception. Layers of knowledge. Layers of knowledge. Layers of knowledge. Layers of light. Layers of light. Layers of light. Motion without effort. Motion without effort. Motion without effort. Knowledge through inquiry. knowledge through inquiry. Knowledge through inquiry. Alertness by awareness. Alertness by awareness. Alertness by awareness. Outcome by means of intent. Outcome by means of intent. Outcome by means of intent. Process through motion. Process through motion. Process through motion. Flying seed, therefore intent. Flying seed, therefore intent. Flying seed, therefore intent. Very good, everyone. Thanks for joining me for our technique to initiate the way of the elements, elemental sequence. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you on Wednesday, and then I will certainly see you next Sunday for the second cycle of knowledge in our course of the Holy Season for the Year of the Song. Have a great next week.